you, Ewan. Well, often we forget that some of the best solutions to a crisis can come from the youth. Now, this is the case for 16-year-old Kiara Nurgan, whose invention that uses orange and avocado peels could revolutionize water conservation and turn around our current drought situation.
When grade 11 St. Martin's High School pupil Kiara Nurgan was searching the web for a school project, she had no idea that what she would see would lead to a groundbreaking water conservation invention.
I was actually researching something for school on Google, and that's when the banner came down on the website that this was a Google Science Fair. And when I'd seen what they wanted us to do, it's all about how can you make the place where you're living better. And that's when I started researching what's affecting South Africa, and one of the things were drought. And that's how I started looking at how can I minimize the effect that drought had on South Africa.
Kiara went on to win the Africa Middle East leg of the Google Science Fair for an invention called a low-cost biodegradable super-absorbent polymer made out of orange peels.
When you have a crop that's in soil and through periods of drought, there's no water. And when there is water that falls onto the crop, it usually seeps through the soil and goes into groundwater. And what I created was a super-absorbent polymer, which is basically a powder that you apply to the soil, and when water does fall, it basically retains a large amount of water, over hundreds of times its mass. And it basically creates mini reservoirs of water in the soil. So when there's periods of drought with no rainfall, the crop is still able to have a constant supply of water.
Kiara's always displayed academic excellence, which her mom says could have started when, as a 7-year-old, Kiara would watch her older brother perform science experiments at home.
Something sparked and her interest for science started then. And she's meticulous with her projects. Some of her projects that she's done for school, if you look at it, you'll swear that an adult, or she's got adults to help her, because everything has to be on par.
That meticulousness has served Kiara well, landing her in the competition's top 16. Kiara jets out to California in September to fly our national flag high and make us proud.
One thing I'd love to get out of Kiara's accomplishment is for her, because this is Women's Month, to inspire other women, young ladies, into STEM, that's science, technology, engineering and maths, and anybody can do it. They put their minds to it, they can achieve anything.
It's so amazing that I've come this far, but I'm also hoping that I can be an inspiration to other children to also pursue science and get into science and really make the world better.
Welcome, Head Starters. I'm so excited today. Don't ask me how it happened, but one of my good friends who I went to high school with, we started playing squash recently, and his cousin is sitting next to me. What are the chances? So hi, Kiara.
Hi.
So for those of you who don't know, I am speaking to Kiara Nurgan, the winner of the 2016 Google Science Fair. She also won the Google Science Fair Community Impact Award for Sub-Saharan Africa and the Middle East. She's been featured on Forbes, CNN. She was recognized as the 8th most influential teen in the world by Times Magazine. I am so excited. So Kiara, how's things going?
It's going well.
Okay, so Kiara, I gave the Head Starters a teaser trailer about you. Tell us more about your journey before you became there.
Well, I'm 16 years old currently. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm currently in grade 11. I'll be in grade 12 next year. And I entered the Google Science Fair this around September, and I got a call back as being one of the 16 global finalists. And I went to San Francisco in September, and there I was announced as one of the winners, and that's when it all happened.
Sure. So could you tell the audience what was your idea?
So my idea is a low-cost, biodegradable, super-absorbent polymer made out of orange peels and avocado skins.
And how did that idea come about?
Well, I looked at the problems South Africa was facing at the time, and obviously one of them was the drought. and I started looking at what I could do to lessen the impact that the drought had on South Africa's food supply.
That's quite a small problem, right? So how is your idea different from what's currently in the market?
So there are super absorbent polymers currently, but they're very expensive and they're not biodegradable. So it means that it couldn't really be applied to farms across South Africa or across the world. So I basically try to keep the absorbing qualities but without the negative impacts.
So everything's like positive.
Yeah.
And how did you become interested in this field of science?
Well, I always had a questioning nature, a curiosity, and from there I always looked at things and what I could do with my knowledge to solve problems.
Because I interviewed a friend Cornell last week, and he also said it's his curiosity that's made him successful.
Yeah.
There's something about being curious that makes you successful. So could you tell us more, what is the Google Science Fair?
So the Google Science Fair is a science fair for teenagers from 13 to 18. It's all online, so any teenager across the world can enter it. You basically create your own website. There's all steps on the Google Science Fair website, and you create your own thing you have to show your method, your test, your results, your research, health and safety, and then you submit it. I think this every year, it's around April or so, and then they get back to you if you made it around just before September and stuff.
And it's a global thing, so...
Yeah, so it's all online, so anyone across the world can do it, if you're from 13 to 18.
Wow. So could you explain to me some of the highlights, like once you're at the fair?
Well, at the fair, I met the Google CEO, Sundar Pichai. He's very down to earth. It was a great experience meeting him, and just being on the Google campus was really amazing.
Okay, wait, we need to go back to the Google CEO because he's one of my fans. So I'm going to be a bit selfish with my question. So how did you meet him?
So at the Google campus, one day we had like a fair with all our stalls, all the 16 global finalists, and they invited schools from across the area for the children to come and meet us. And then the CEO and his assistant stood in line, and they also came to meet some of the finalists.
And what did you all talk about?
He just asked me about my project, what it is, what it does, how is it different from things already available.
Do you have his email? Give it to me. No, but do you?
I have somebody from Google that exchanges emails.
Oh, lovely. So what are the opportunities that have opened up for you after winning the competition?
So I've got a lot of newspapers, magazines, radio. Those have all been a lot there, and obviously I'm looking at companies to get my product in the commercial market.
Nice. Maybe I'll help you out. So you seem to be having everything going for you. But what was like your biggest challenge during this process, and how did you overcome it?
I think just the fact that it was so time consuming, the entire project, and I didn't have a lot of time because with school and extramural activities. I think just the fact that it took so long to do.
How long did it take you then?
Well, it's difficult to put a specific time on it because I've always been thinking about it, doing tests at home and submitting things, putting it into methods, results. So it was I can't put an exact time, but it was just quite long.
Sure. And what would you consider to be your biggest failure? And what did you learn from that experience?
I think through the project, one of the biggest failures were just the fact that I had to have so many control variables that, especially when you're experimenting at home, you don't actually take into account that you have to keep the light constant, humidity constant, all the little things in the project that really affect the results.
dipersembahkan oleh Permata Bank.
Baru-baru ini sejumlah ilmuwan muda Indonesia membuat kejutan karena mereka menang di sebuah kompetisi internasional. Banyak yang tidak percaya bahwa mereka adalah anak-anak muda yang menciptakan alat-alat yang oleh juri internasional dianggap punya nilai yang tinggi. Supaya Anda tidak penasaran, dan juga saya tidak penasaran, maka kita berikan aplaus untuk Linus Nara Pradana. Iya, terima kasih. Tapi apa betul Nara baru-baru ini menang dalam sebuah kompetisi internasional untuk para penemu muda?
Iya.
Di mana?
Di Bangkok, Thailand.
Iya. Saya baca acaranya adalah International Exhibition for Young Inventor.
Iya.
Ya. Nah, ini eksibisi apa sebenarnya?
Jadi ini penemu muda dari seluruh dunia dikumpulkan. Di situ ada sebuah pameran yang sekaligus dijadikan kompetisi. Nah, di situ kami semua bersaing untuk mendapatkan medali emas, silver, perak, dan special award.
Oke, terus Nara mengalahkan berapa peserta di sana?
Di sana ada 206 peserta.
Dan kalau Nara? Jadi penghargaan yang Nara terima penghargaan apa sebenarnya?
Medali emas.
Medali emas. Lalu apa yang membuat Nara menang?
Juri berkomentar, katanya di sana kan ada beberapa kategori, dan dari seluruh kategori itu inovasi Nara itu mencukupi.
Apa inovasi Nara ini?
Jadi ini namanya gel coated helmet, yang artinya helm berlapis gel. Jadi fungsinya dia bisa menurunkan panas di dalam helm sampai 21%.
Wah. Itu pesaing-pesaing Nara dengar-dengar SMA ya?
Iya, kebanyakan SMA sampai SMK.
Hebat ya. Tentu Anda semua dan saya penasaran, tapi sebelum itu bagaimana kalau kita ikuti dulu tayangan berikut ini.
Prestasi gemilang bertaraf internasional kembali diraih Indonesia. Linus Nara Pradana atau Nara berhasil meraih medali emas dalam International Exhibition for Young Inventors. Siswa kelas 2 SMP asal Surabaya ini sukses memukau juri dengan helm berpendingin yang diciptakannya. Ia bersaing dengan 206 siswa lainnya dari seluruh penjuru dunia. Ide untuk membuat helm ini didapatkan karena ia kerap kepanasan saat menggunakan helm pada siang hari. Dengan helm yang diciptakannya ini, kini ia mampu mengurangi tingkat kepanasan dalam helm hingga 20%. Alat ini dibuatnya dengan material yang tergolong sederhana. Ia menggunakan gel diapers popok bayi untuk menahan air agar tidak merembes keluar. Sehari-hari di sekolahnya SMA Petra 5 Surabaya, anak sulung pasangan Gunawan Siswoyo dan Florentina Rinawati ini dikenal aktif dan pandai. Atas penemuannya ini, kini teknik pendinginan helm ini telah dibeli oleh produsen pembuat helm. Rencananya helm ini akan dijual bebas di pasaran mulai bulan Agustus. Sementara itu, saat ini Nara sedang mengembangkan idenya untuk membuat helm anti debu dan jaket berpendingin air.
Ya. Nah, pertama kali yang terpikirkan untuk membuat helm dingin itu pakai cara apa?
Jadi pertamanya kan ayah Nara kan bekerja sebagai guru, karena helm itu terlalu lama diparkir di luar, jadi kan panas. Nah, Nara sering disiram helmnya.
Oke. Tapi hasilnya bagaimana?
Hasilnya sebenarnya lumayan ada perbedaan, tapi tidak terlalu signifikan, dan yang kedua tidak tahan lama, cepat kering istilahnya. Lalu Nara coba pakai kain basah. Tapi kan bentuknya aneh kayak udeng.
Iya, iya. Jadi helmnya dililit
Iya.
dengan kain yang
Basah.
basah.
Iya.
Bukan di dalamnya tapi di luarnya.
Iya.
Oke, itu pun dianggap kurang optimal
mampu,
ya.
Iya.
Terus?
Lalu Nara coba berinovasi memakai bahan fiber.
Coba dikasih lihat dulu dong.
Ya.
Mananya yang dikasih fiber?
Jadi ini dari fiber.
Oh.
Jadi ini helm biasa, Nara tambahi fiber.
Oke, terus?
Lalu Nara isi air di dalamnya.
Serasa berenang gini.
Ya. Ya.
Nah, terus diisi air?
Diisi air, ternyata pertamanya bocor dan terlalu berat.
Oke.
Bisa dicoba. Berat.
Om Andi tiap hari pakai helm. Jadi oplok-oplok gitu ya?
Iya, oplok-oplok.
Ada airnya ini ya?
Iya.
Tapi bagus juga nih kalau haus kan tinggal gini. Nggak bener ini.
Kan
Sengaja ya?
Tadi saya bilang bocor tadi.
Oh iya. Iya ya, waktu dia bilang bocor saya nggak dengar ya. Oke, jadi ini ada airnya beneran ya. Oke, nggak mau main-main lagi lah. Jadi ini pun menurut Nara kurang optimal, kurang prima.
Iya, karena sebulan sekali itu harus diisi.
Oh, karena habis airnya,
Iya, karena
isi
habis.
lagi.
Isi lagi dan itu beratnya.
Dan berat ya?
Iya, berat banget.
Berapa kilo tambahan beratnya?
Ini sekitar 800 gram.
Oke, terus kemudian berikutnya apa yang
Berikutnya,
Nara lakukan?
Ya, setelah itu Nara lihat iklan popok bayi di TV.
Agak kacau ini. Oke, popok bayi apa yang membuat Nara terpikirkan tentang popok bayi itu?
Jadi di dalam popok bayi ini ada sebuah gel. Jadi ini kapas ini bisa berubah jadi gel.
Ini popok bayi ya?
Iya.
Dibuka, dibongkar gitu popoknya.
Iya.
Pantas kemarin ada tetangga yang datang bilang popok saya hilang semua. Oke, terus di dalam popok ini ada gel, terus diapakan?
Lalu Nara taruh. Jadi air yang fiber yang tadi isinya air Nara ganti gel.
Oh,
Itu.
diisi dengan gel.
Ya.
Terus?
Ternyata waktu Nara tes pakai termometer lumayan hasilnya.
Tapi gel itu diisi air lagi atau
Iya,
enggak?
tetap
Gel.
diisi air.
Oh, diisi air.
Iya, tetap diisi.
Oke, tapi lebih ringan atau sama
Lebih
beratnya?
ringan.
Lebih ringan. Oh, ini untuk alat pengisi air.
Iya.
Jadi ini dibuka, terus kemudian dimasukin air.
Iya,
Bisa tahan lama.
Bisa tahan lama kalau yang gel.
Oke. Terus suhu di dalam helm ini pernah diukur? Dalam keadaan suasana panas di luar, suhu di dalam helm ini berapa?
Waktu terik matahari 39 suhunya.
Oke.
39. Dan helm ini hanya 29,64 derajat Celcius.
Wah, jadi iya. Siapa sih yang bimbing Nara?
Jadi ayah Nara sendiri.
Ayah Nara, coba ayahnya Nara berdiri. Iya. Ini sudah dipatenkan belum ini?
Sudah.
Sudah dipatenkan?
Sudah.
Jadi tadi disebutkan bahwa sudah ada yang berminat?
Iya.
Pengusaha Indonesia?
Iya. Dari Surabaya.
Surabaya, terus akan diproduksi secara massal?
Iya. Dalam waktu bulan Agustus akan, kalau sesuai rencana, itu akan diproduksi massal.
Pakai nama apa?
Nara Fashion.
Nara Fashion. Mimpi Nara dalam urusan penemuan-penemuan ini apa?
Jadi mimpi Nara, Nara kalau untuk helm ini, Nara pengen agar helm ini bisa dijual di Asia Tenggara, khususnya negara-negara tropis seperti itu, agar pengendara motor tidak malas lagi menggunakan helm.
Tidak malas ya. Baik. Nara, tentu kita doakan Nara sukses. Dua siswa dari Yogyakarta menemukan sepatu yang punya mata. Dan ini katanya akan membantu para tunanetra untuk bisa melangkah tanpa tongkat. Apa alat yang diciptakan? Siapa yang menciptakan? Ikuti terus Kikendi.